Meet the Shelby GT500 Super Snake. 1,000 horsepower of tire smoking, adrenaline pumping, badass muscle. Now, I'm sure all of you are aware of the history behind the Shelby GT500 Super Snake, but if you're not, I'm going to give you the rundown in 30 seconds. Essentially, in 1967, Carroll Shelby develops the GT500, and not too long after, the GT500 Super Snake. This one-of-one car came with 600 horsepower, a GT40 racing engine, and pushed the boundaries known to that Mustang, running at 170 miles an hour. Then, ceased to exist. The Super Snake is back, and most importantly, the Shelby GT500 Super Snake serves as the top dog in American muscle. That and next to the Shelby 1000. What you get with this car is you get 850 horsepower coming out of that 5.8 liter V8 with a 3.6 liter Kenny Bell liquid-cooled supercharger. This is a signature edition Super Snake. So with that, this is one of 50 built. This one is numbered 9. So it's a sub-10 car. Pretty cool to have a car that's numbered under 10, and that's what I think. But anyway, so with this package, you get custom floor mats, the new Super Snake signature edition emblem. You got bigger badges on the side. You also got custom stripes. You can change it any color you want. All those cool features, but most notably, yeah, the Shelby Venice wheels. They put back in the front grille. So if you guys saw the front grille in the front end, this is a 2014 GT500. So those GT500s, they don't have the front grille on them at all. They take those out. But on this package, they put them back on. But other than that, the car is really just the same as a normal Super Snake, but it's really commemorating to all the years of making the GT500 Super Snake, because the GT500 was going out of production. And also, the passenger side on the airbag cover has Carroll Shelby's signature. So that's another feature that differentiates this Super Snake with most others. Okay, so first off, as soon as you sit inside of this car, you do realize it is a bit dated. Now, comparing this to my Shelby GT350R, for example, it doesn't feel as refined. There's less leather, there's more plastics all around the interior. However, this feels much more raw than any other car I've been in. You got a massive hood before you, excellent visibility all around, and you got this fantastic Tremec 660 manual transmission with a short throw shifter. Coming to the clutch and the pedal feel, now the clutch does feel much more heavy than it does in the normal Shelby GT500. And if you guys don't know, buying a new Super Snake package, depending on what you order, you can get different kind of clutches. So this one's got a super twin clutch, and it definitely is a bit heavier. So moving on to the steering column, you've got a nicely wrapped Alcantara steering wheel. It's the same as in the normal GT500 for the 2014 and 13 model year. You got a nice A-pillar pod with gauges, so you got boost, fuel, and oil pressure. So I think this car, it is nice to sit in here. It is nice to hold the wheel because you got nice 10 and 2 notches as well. Just the feeling it gives you, this feels much more like a hot rod than compared to the Shelby GT350. This car, you're looking over the hood, you got gigantic air scoops in front of you, and you kind of see the engine bay looking through the air scoops. A really cool feature is that in this car you have customizable ambient lighting, and you can still do that with the newer Mustangs, but if you guys don't know, the Shelby GT350s, they don't have that. They took all that stuff out, so in this car you can customize all the ambient lighting. My favorite is the blue all around. It just makes the car look pretty cool, and if you guys seen that Need for Speed movie, all the blue ambient lighting, that kind of adds on to the flair, doesn't it? Anyways, I'm sure you guys are aware this isn't no ordinary Shelby Super Snake. This one has 1,000 horsepower, so let's go ahead and show you under the hood. So under the hood, you've got your 3.6 liter Kenny Bell liquid-cooled supercharger, like I mentioned, on the V8. You also got custom aluminum cooling tanks, performance heat exchangers, and performance radiators. And if you look at the bottom intercooler, it actually says Super Snake. That's another custom cool feature they add. As you can see, this car also has a carbon fiber engine overlay kit. So yeah, it's not necessarily real carbon fiber solid piece. This is going to be your hydro dipped, but to me it doesn't really matter that much because plastic versus carbon fiber, it's going to weigh the same nonetheless. And coming to the engine bay, you actually have custom carbon fiber valve covers, and you can't actually buy that under the Super Snake package. This is a feature that's only available if you order the 1,000 horsepower packages, but anything else in the engine bay, The battery covers, all that. You can carbon fiber that through Shelby American, and it actually gets all cataloged onto a sheet. So everything you do to this car is cataloged through Shelby American, so it's going to hold its value over time. Moving to all the technical specifications, you've got a Shelby by Borla exhaust system. So this basically makes a Shelby unique exhaust note that you hear on all the Super Snakes out there, and it gives you the oval shaped tipped exhausts in the rear. But what makes mine sound different than most is that I actually have the Shelby competition cams. This is available through the 1000 horsepower packages, and they add that, and they also add long tube headers with high flow cats, the super twin clutch I mentioned, a 10% overdrive pulley, and more boost. You also get a custom dyno tune with this car, so they specifically tune your car, give you the tune. They also give you all the HP tuner supplies to tune it yourself. But moving on to the handling department, you have a brand new Torsen rear axle upgrade. You have Watts-Link suspension, upward and lower control arms, upgraded axle shafts, new wheel studs, and a brand new Torsen diff. Now coming to the wheels and the tires set up in this car, you've got your 20-inch Shelby one-piece forged wheels, which look pretty good to me, and you can actually order this off the Shelby website right now. You also get a brand new brake kit in this car, so you have Wilwood brakes in the front and back, so 6-piston in the front, 4-piston in the rear. So enough with all that, let's go for a drive. So what you need to know about this car is that, again, it's got 1000 horsepower, and it's not like any other 1000 horsepower car I've been in, because with this car, the way it's set up, it puts down the power exceptionally well, and I think it's partly due to that Watts-Link suspension in the back. This car does have drag radials, and that does not come standard with this vehicle. They come with a Michelin Pilot Super Sports, I believe. It doesn't make much sense to me why they put that on this kind of a car, but what Shelby's doing nowadays with their Super Snakes, they're trying to make it more like a track car. I don't believe that this should be like that. This is a drag racer. This is the kind of car you accelerate in a straight line and just have a blast. And just driving this car on the road, what it feels like is that it is bumpy. It doesn't feel like it's gonna corner, you know, like the GT350. This vehicle, it feels like it's planted, but in a straight line. The feeling it gives you is fantastic, and especially with that sound. What car sounds like this with the pops and crackles of the cam system in the back? God, it just... And especially when you go from 4,000 RPMs down to 3,000 RPMs, what you get is all that pops and crackles right there in that one segment RPMs the most. It's just so exciting to use. And a lot of people out there always show off their, you know, cams and all their popping sounds their car makes. But I've never heard a car that sounds quite like this vehicle does on the road. Honestly, this is a fun car no matter where you drive it. Yeah, it can get kind of difficult driving sometimes on the highway because the way the clutch is and all that immense power band you have. But wherever you go with this car, you're going to have a blast. And I don't think the new Super Snakes have nothing on this car, especially the new Coyote Mustang GTs, because those cars are only making 750 horsepower. Back in the day when they're making these GT500 Super Snakes, they're making over 850. Now, it just shows you what you can do with this car. And the new Shelby 1000 coming out, that car has 1000 horsepower, yeah, but they had to redo the whole engine, take it out, put a 5.2 liter Illuminator motor in that thing just to make the 1000 horsepower. But in this GT500 Super Snake with that 5.8 liter V8, they were able to make it go to 850 all the way up to 1000 if they wanted to. How does this car compare to my Shelby GT350? Well, the GT350, that's the kind of car that you have all the fun at the racetrack. Yeah, it gets exciting at listening to that rev out to 8,250 RPM. But really, this car, everywhere you drive it, because you can just pop it down a gear, accelerate as fast as you want to. This car has a totally different style than any other vehicle out there. This car's got a solid rear axle. What cars these days come with that? The new Dodge Demon, that car, it's got automatic paddle shifters that you flip the paddle to upshift. It's got a trans brake, all that kind of stuff. It's got independent rear suspension, same with the new ZL1. In the ZL1, you don't know what that thing is. Is it a track car? Is it a drag car? So I really find the GT500 Super Snake being the last of its kind, the last of the road, you know, just tire smoking, badass muscle cars. Like I said, it's a great vehicle, and if you were to buy one of these cars, and if you can even find one, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Good news is, for all of you guys that own a GT500 out there, is that they still make the Super Snake package for this car. Yeah, it's quite expensive, but I think at the end of the day, you're getting a vehicle that's unique and it's totally worth it. I'm sure all of you guys have had enough of me talking, so let's go ahead and let the car speak for itself. The 2014 Shelby GT500 Super Snake is truly the last of its kind. A renegade single-purpose built machine, this car is meant to tear up the streets and intimidate all others. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe for more great content. See y'all in the next video.